Today our guest is Kimberly Perry. She comes to us today with an amazing story. I am your host, Joy Bailey, and welcome to the journey. Kimberly Perry is an award-winning author, an inspirational speaker, and a nationally sought-after personal development coach and wife of Vice President of the Detroit Pistons basketball team. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So, you're from Michigan?
Yes.
And for the audience who's out of state, we pledge allegiance to our American flag, and this is our Michigan flag. Welcome again.
Thank you so much.
Tell me a little bit about your background, Kimberly.
Okay, I am from Michigan, and I went to Michigan State University. Okay. And I have a degree in media communications. And upon graduation from college, I started a career in journalism. And I worked for NBC as a producer for a couple of years. And then from there, I went to Comcast Cable and worked behind the scenes there for a few years. And had a very successful career in journalism and had a great family, great marriage. I had money. I had everything on paper that you would think would make you happy. And but there was something missing, you know, in my life, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And I was actually reading a book one day called How to Be Happy. Yes, and so a friend of mine saw me reading this book, and she says, "Well, aren't you happy?" She's like, "You have everything, you know, like I thought you know, would be happy." I says, "I don't know." I says, "There's just something missing." And so she says, "Well, I know what it is." And so she actually shared her faith with me. And so what I had discovered at that time is what was missing was a personal relationship with Jesus. Yes. And so we started doing Bible studies together, and I had always believed in God, but I never had a personal relationship. And so from there, my background kind of took another turn, and I went to ministry school. Wow. And I became a certified prayer counselor and a minister and evangelist. And so where I am today, yes, where all this comes together is I'm still a journalist, but now what my vision is and where I'm going with this is that I'm going to be doing a TV show that is focused on Christian principles.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. So you're going to take your entire journey and actually have it in a teaching format.
Yes, yes. I'm going to put everything together now from my journalism background and my Christian background, and I want to teach people basically just the facts about Christianity. Because I know in the environment that we live in now, and I know like with my daughter and with her friends and you know, people at our family, they want facts.
Yes.
And they have to have more than just faith. You know, when I was growing up, faith was enough. But now they're like, well, how do we know? And so from my studies, you know, I have found that every single thing in the Bible can be proven. Every single thing, there are eyewitnesses, there's documents, there's anthropologists, there's scientists, there's historians, and there is proof for skeptics. So my show is going to be geared towards those that want to believe, but they just need more information. For those who might just, you know, want just to go to the next level, you know, in their faith. And it's going to be like mini documentaries on topics that I really believe will take people's faith to another level.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds like a great work that's been done in you.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you're going to have this new television program.
Yes.
When is it coming?
Okay, we will be starting in a couple of weeks. Okay. It's going to be called Life News Today.
Life News Today.
Yes, and what makes it different than other news, we're going to have like a CNN format, but the reason we call it Life News is because all of the topics are going to affect everyone's life personally. Yes. It's going to be world news. I mean, it can be for anyone in the world. It doesn't matter your nationality. It doesn't matter your age. The topics that we're going to cover are going to affect everyone in a very personal way. But it's going to be good news. It's not bad news.
Yes.
And that was one thing that kind of turned me off about journalism, you know, 20 years ago when I first got into it. It's like, man, I can't sit here and just report bad news all day, you know, because that's really almost kind of what they do, is a murder here and a bomb there and a fire there and killing there. And that really wasn't in my heart what I wanted to do. Once I, you know, gave my life to the Lord, I was like, I am about spreading good news to people. So it's going to be a news format. Everything's going to have eyewitnesses, documents. Everything's going to be factual, but it's going to be news that affects your life personally, everyone's life personally, life-changing news that after you turn off the news show, you'll feel good though. You'll feel empowered. You'll feel, you know, better about your future, better about yourself, better about life. It will give you hope. It will give people more faith, and it'll make you feel good, not bad.
So you're going to be inspiring the skeptics.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So this television program, you know, like you said, you touched on kind of the chaos that's going on in the world. And why do you personally feel like it's needed at this time?
I feel that it's needed right now because of the economy, you know, is so bad, and you know, every time you turn on the TV, they're talking about unemployment at an all-time high. You're talking about, you know, just so much bad news. And so I think that right now, people need some good news. People need to be inspired right now. They need to be motivated. People need something to encourage them. And so that's what this is going to be all about. And also twofold, people need something to fuel their faith.
Yes.
You know, so that's why I think it's just a perfect time for a good news show. You know, no more bad news. Yes.
That's almost the tagline.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect time for a good news show.
Absolutely.
Absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So what types of things can people expect regarding the format of the show? You said that you're going to be kind of on a CNN background. You're going to have like a news desk there.
Yes.
What other types of formats?
Well, it's going to be very interesting because we're going to have great interviews and great stories from interesting people all over the world, sharing really inspiring stories. And when you hear their stories, you're going to say, wow, you know, if they can do it, I can do it. You know, all types, like the very first show, we have a woman, we're going to be talking about prayer and how prayer has given her so many miraculous healings that we have documented from doctors and hospitals. And so we're going to be talking about, does prayer really work? And so we're going to be interviewing people that have personal experiences with prayer. We have statistics from hospitals. You know, so we have, you know, some experiments that were done showing that you know, there were two groups of patients that went through surgery, and one group did not pray and the other group did. And the group that did pray, their recovery rate was a lot faster than those who didn't. So the format will be very interesting, great music, great stories, great graphics. It'll be very inspiring and really fast-paced. And I would also say they're going to be like mini documentaries.
Okay.
What's different is most Christian shows, it's really just ministering the Bible, and which is a great thing that's needed, and teaching from the Bible. This is going to be different. I think that what's different about the format of this show is that it's going to be like mini documentaries to prove. So the ministers and the pastors, they take step one. They're going to teach you, what does the Bible say? And then I'm going to be step two to say, I'll prove it to you.
Okay, wonderful. So they can apply what your show is offering to their everyday life, and to meet people that have, in fact, been inspired through the format of prayer, through the format of just believing, or like you said, finding facts about the things in the Bible.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And also I've written a book. It's called How to Win in the Game of Life, and it's going to be actually released next month as well, so kind of perfect timing with this show. And a lot of the principles that I will be talking about on the show will also be in the book.
Okay.
And they're going to be several topics that will help people to get to where they want in life. You know, how to make your dreams come true, how to be happy.
Yeah.
The question I had 20 years ago, I want to give people some real answers on that, you know, and it's not bungee jumping off of a mountain, you know. We're going to be talking about like real, true, lasting joy that could last for eternity. So the book, along with the TV show, I'm hoping that it will be a blessing to millions of people.
Well, it definitely sounds like you found how to be happy.
Yes, I have.
Wonderful.
It has been a journey, and I want to share that with others. I want to share what I've learned over the last 25 years in my studies and my research. When I was writing my book, I've been writing it for years now. And from a journalistic standpoint, you know, I have been interviewing winners and champions and leaders and successful people and researching people from all over the world to get answers. And I have quotes from champions like Mother Teresa, and she's just like a great champion to me. And she has a lot of nuggets of wisdom, you know, for happiness and for truth and for joy, you know, in life. And so I have quotes from people from all over the world that will be sharing great insights on how to be happy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, can't wait for your show to air. Tell us where we can find it and when will it air?
Okay, so it will be starting in a couple of weeks, and we will be on CMN TV on Channel 18. We will also be on Yahweh TV, which is Asian Christian channel, which actually will be starting worldwide eventually. Yeah, so we will be not only, we'll start off locally in Oakland County, then we'll go all over Michigan, and then we're going to be all over the world.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
And how can people reach you? I know that you've written a book. I mean, you've got a vast, just many years of experience, you know, from being in, you know, CNN, or I'm sorry,
NBC.
NBC,
Yes, and Comcast.
And
cable.
Comcast, and with your exposure with journalism and writing, how can people get in touch with you?
Okay. Well, I am available for interviews, speaking engagements, and also I'm a prayer counselor. So if anyone would like to send me a prayer request, we have a prayer team that any prayers that come in through email, myself and our prayer team, we do pray for those that contact us. So basically I can be reached at my website, which is www.kimberlyperry.org. That's KIMBERLYPERRY.org, or through my email, kperry@kimberlyperry.org.
Wonderful, wonderful. We thank you so much for joining us today. Look for Kimberly's show that's going to come on Channel 18 on Yahweh Television, also on CMN. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Journey. God bless.